Cool. All right, guys. So welcome. Happy Monday. It is Thanksgiving week. So I guess I should start by saying that I'm thankful for you. Thankful that you are on this this call tonight, and just thankful for what's in store for the rest of 2016. Last week, I really felt great about the work that we did in that success, 5-day success group. I think it got our wheels turning in a way that we haven't really allowed ourselves to turn in 2016, myself included. And so I think it was a really great experience to be able to look back and kind of just say, you know what, that's what worked, that's what didn't work, and here's where I'm going. And so I'm really excited about the direction that our team's going. I'm excited about the energy behind it. And one of the things that we'll talk about is how to kind of turn that energy to other people, right? So we're transitioning our ROCKSTAR challengers into coaches. So I kind of got to tell you guys a little bit of a story. So I'm really good at helping others with challenge groups. Like, I know this about myself. If there's one thing in this business that I've figured out, it's how to run great challenge groups, how to get people into our challenge groups, and how to allow them to have success and feel like they're part of a community. I feel very confident that I can teach people how to do what I do in terms of fitness and how to make it balance with life. And I'm really confident and comfortable in that area. But what I'm not good at doing, and this is like, I gotta be truthful about it, I'm not good at teaching others how to help others too. And it's not that I'm not good at it. I think I could be good at it, but for whatever reason, 3 years into the business, there's not a lot of people running challenge groups on our team. And so the reality is, as coaches, you'll see in this webinar tonight, that if you're not running challenge groups, then this step won't ever be able to happen. I mean, it will, but it really is important to get people who are plugged in and like sold out on Beachbody, people that breathe these challenge groups, know that they've worked, they've had results and had success and had fun. And then they go on to teach that to other people, right? And share that with others. So I think one of the biggest hitches we have as coaches, and I say this for myself too, is like, I don't want people to I don't want them to join my team because I don't really have a team, or I don't want them to join Beachbody and think that they're going to be an overnight success and make millions of dollars, because I'm not an overnight success making millions of dollars. So like, how can I even sell them on Beachbody? Or how can I get people to join this opportunity when maybe I don't even know if this opportunity even really works? And so if you've said those things to yourself, or you're struggling with this, you have to understand that it's not even so much about the opportunity as a coach and just thinking about hiring somebody for the business. You're teaching people how to help other people, so that all we're doing is just spider webbing out. So as I help you, you help someone else, they help someone else, and it just keeps rippling outward. Because the reality is, there is an entire circle of people that you have around you that I will never touch, because they're your circle of influence, right? And then those people, it's kind of like a Venn diagram, how the circles just interconnect. It's one of those situations. And so then those people have their own circle that you would never be able to reach. And then so on and so on and so on. And so the cool thing about this business, and what makes it kind of just explode for people in terms of feeling like they've made a difference and an impact, is that they're no longer just helping people on their own terms, but they're teaching others to help others too. And so really, that is, as we talked through like last week with our big goals and like what we really want to do, what is super laid on my heart right now is, how can I get our team to be good at helping others too? And so it's my goal to teach you guys how to do that, which the first 2 webinars were geared more towards that. And of course, if there's ever any questions, obviously I'm going to answer them for you. But tonight we're going to specifically talk about taking those challengers and transitioning them to coaches. So I've got 4 new systems that I'm going to try in my challenge groups, and that I encourage you to also duplicate and try in your groups when you start running them. So again, like I said in the beginning, it's going to be so pertinent that you are running challenge groups. So you've got to get out of this this fear, because it's really all it is. You got to break that wall, break that barrier down, and you've got to actively run challenge groups. Now, if you're like, I don't want to run a challenge group with only 1 or 2 people, Brittany, well then you need to plug those people into like our challenge groups as a team, right? And plug them into that resource until you feel comfortable and confident, or you want to merge maybe with another coach, right? And see if you guys can double up and do that. I did that in the beginning of my business too. where I would pair up with another coach and we'd both plug people into one group. That way it didn't feel so small. Okay, but challenge groups have to be going. So first system we're going to talk through is making a list. I feel like Santa Claus when I say that, making a list, checking it twice. The next one is going to be affirming the leaders. Okay, the third system is going to be a group call. And then your last one is going to be strategic reach. So I'm going to break down what all of these mean as we go. So the first one, making a list. So in your first week of your challenge group, okay, just on your phone, like notepad, like when you open up your phone, you've got the notes, just on a note on your phone, keep track of challengers who are involved. So like that first post, when you welcome everybody to the group and you tell everybody, you know, I want you to introduce yourself, keep track of who answers that. Because not everybody will necessarily. Sometimes I have everybody answer it because like it's just a big deal and everybody sees everybody else doing it, so they all just kind of jump in. And sometimes it's a little bit quieter. So figure out, keep track of those challengers that immediately dive in and are involved that first week. Those challengers who are posting consistently in the first week. Who has that spark? And I know you know what I'm talking about, because that spark is like, wow, that person is like in it. Like you've seen it in our groups before, I'm sure, when there's somebody you notice and you're just like, wow, they're really excited about all this, and their energy is high and I'm inspired by them. Who has that spark? And so you want to keep them on your radar, because you're going to gently nudge that person. Okay, you're going to gently want to nudge that person as the weeks go on. Now, I'm giving you a 4-week kind of strategic plan to getting people from challenger to coach, but I'm going to also pause for a second and tell you that you might have to nudge them month after month after month. And that's okay, because you don't want them to join if they're not ready. And some people take a little bit more convincing than others, but just keep like wash, rinse, repeat sort of thing. So if they have that spark, guys, I have somebody who's been in my groups for a year. I've been trying to get her to coach. Today I got off the phone with her and she finally found, somebody reached out to her and said like, I want to do, what you're doing, please help me. And she finally realized, wait a second, I could do this. And like, so we got on the phone today and talked about it, but it's been a year and she's had that spark and she's been involved and she's a ROCKSTAR challenger that posts daily. So it's taken a while. So keep them on your radar and nudge them. Okay. Week 2. So this is where we start to affirm the leaders. Shout outs are so important. It is one of our vital behaviors. Okay. So it's the 4th vital behavior, making recognition a part of your day. So shouting out your challengers, letting them and others know that they are a leader. So actually using that terminology, using those words, like, I am so impressed by, can we take a second and shout out, Susie, I am so impressed with her leadership in this challenge right now. You inspire me, you're inspiring everybody else, and it's just incredible to watch you. Now I'm gonna go do my workout because of you. Like that kind of thing, right? And let them know that they're a leader, because you're planting that seed in them that's letting them know that they can do this. I think the biggest fear for somebody when they start coaching is like, can I really do this? Is anybody gonna listen to me? Can I really inspire and influence others? And you're letting them know in gentle, positive ways in the group that yes, they can. Okay. When other people see those shout outs too, you might have other people step up to the plate, which is exciting. So that also makes for an easier transition, because you're planting those seeds in the beginning, right? You're planting those seeds, letting them know that you believe in them, that they do have leadership skills. And so it makes for an easier transition later to say, oh my gosh, but you were crushing it in the group. You're posting all the time. You were inspiring everybody. You would be amazing at this. You just need to take that same attitude and transfer it over to your Facebook page or over to Instagram or whatever, right? Over to your friends and family, okay? And then also, I say in the 2nd week, as you're shouting them out, also watch their social media behavior. I have some challengers right now that on social media I'm watching, and they're posting. They're not a coach, but they're posting what they're doing. They're already doing what a coach does. So watching their behaviors on social media, and then like, what do I want to say? And then like encouraging that good behavior, right? Because that's giving you clues to their potential later. So if you see them on social media talking really positively about the changes happening, make sure you're commenting on that and shouting them out. Make sure that you share that on your own timeline. Just things like that to continue to affirm to them that they have what it takes, that this job is not something over and above them, right? Okay. So now we're in week 3 of your challenge group. So I'm kind of in a 4-week challenge group here. So in week 3, this is something new that I'm going to do, and I'm going to actually do it this week. Well, we are doing it this week, but I'm going to word it a little bit differently. So hosting a group call, exactly what we're doing right here, Zoom. So Zoom is free, guys, for up to 40 minutes and up to like a certain number of participants. So you could easily sign up for a Zoom account, just like I have, and then getting them on that call. Here's the script you could use in the challenge group when you're hosting that call. Hey guys, in week 3, right? So you've already seen the rock stars in week 1. In week 2, you start shouting out those leaders. And then in week 3, and guys, if there's only one leader, you keep shouting that same person out over and over again, right? But then in week 3, hosting a group call. So the script is, hey guys, I've been getting tons of questions about coaching and I'd love to jump on a call with anyone who is interested. And then you could say like, what day and time works for everybody? Would Saturday work for you guys or whatever, right? And see who would be willing to jump on a Zoom call. So you can see them face to face. They can see you face to face. And I know right now you're like, Brittany, I can't do that. That is scary as all get out. But you got to get out of your comfort zone with some things. And I promise you that it's not as scary as it sounds. And really, you're getting them involved. You're allowing them to ask the questions about coaching. And if you're super nervous about doing something like this, if you start dabbling with this whole hosting a group call and you'd love to have, myself or somebody else on the team that's a little bit more comfortable jump on with you to help guide that, absolutely. Absolutely. And I encourage you, when I do the very first hosting of it, to jump on to see how I do it so that you can kind of model that also. Because that's all that it is, just modeling and duplicating, listening to how I say it and then making it your own. But it gets them involved. Okay, because then they get to ask the questions. You're not jumping on this call to do a sales pitch or a what is coaching call. Like that's a totally different thing. You're really just answering any questions. Like, and here's the deal, guys. That's kind of a little white lie. Like maybe you haven't been getting tons of questions, but nobody knows that. They don't know that, right? Like secret life of coaching. Like they don't know that you're not getting tons of questions, but in week 3, it's a great time to plant that seed. Again, you're planting the seeds. Let's say that nobody even responds to that. Who cares? Who cares? It's fine, right? At least you're planting those seeds. And month after month, you just keep doing that same behavior and eventually it's going to work out for you, right? It'll build. I encourage you to record the call. So like a Zoom call like this and record it and then post it into the group so that you can say, hey, we had such an amazing call. Lots of questions were answered. I'm posting it here for anybody that missed it and, wanted to hear about the coaching opportunity and just some of the questions that people had. So posting it into the group. And then also, guys, I always send a mass email out on Friday with the meal planner for the groups. Same thing could happen with this. Email it out. Email the recording out to everybody in the group. So that way they're getting it again. And you're kind of like you're not bugging people, but you're making it accessible to them, right? Because the reality is it takes somebody about 7 follow-ups. 7, are you hearing me? 7 follow-ups for them to finally commit to something. So when you say, I asked Susie if she would be interested in coaching and she said no, you probably have to reroute and ask Susie again later. If you really think Susie is like a great person for this opportunity and you really believe in Susie and you're like, yeah, that she is the real deal, like I need her on this team, you're going to have to continue to circle back to her and remind her why you think she's amazing, right? And so just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that it's not bugging somebody. You're literally just making it accessible and exposing them to that so that it's on their radar, right? Because honestly, it is a busy season. Maybe they couldn't jump on the recording. Maybe they totally skimmed over it when you were posting it. So then maybe when it finally goes to their inbox, they have a second to watch it, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, so after week 3, your last one in week 4 is expanding your reach. So let's say after that, you had somebody join as a coach, right? Let's say Susie got on that call. I'm going to just keep using Susie all night. She got on that call and she joined as a coach. You're going to want to shout her out. And this is the kicker. You shout her out on Facebook. Obviously, add her to our team page. You're going to add her, maybe shout her out and you want to shout her out on your own personal page too. But shout Susie out in the group. Why? Because everybody else that was on that call with Susie sees that Susie made that choice. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, Susie did it. Maybe I could do it too. And then it gets their wheels turning, right? Because there's safety in numbers. There's safety in numbers. It's a scary thing to become a coach. It's a scary deal to do something out of your comfort zone or to do something that you're not sure what it really even is. It is scary, guys. And so we have to honor that. And so by shouting them out in the actual group, the actual fitness group on the app, it's allowing other people to see that that person was brave enough to give coaching a chance, to give our team a chance, and that they believe in the products enough to do that too. It creates more conversation, right? Creates more conversation about what coaching is. So if, maybe somebody else who was on the fence, now they're going to reach out to you. Okay. This is another idea, and it's harder with the app, and I haven't done it yet, but mandatory friend requests at the beginning of the group, because here's the deal. If everybody's friends with each other on Facebook now, once you shout out so-and-so on Facebook, they're going to see that shout out, and they're going to see the reaction of the likes and the loves and the comments on the post, right? And so as coaches too on our team, we need to get better about, like, when a coach, let's say, Becca, you add a coach, I want all of us, not just on Team Our Victory, but on Becca's page when she shouts that coach out, to be there and to get the comments rolling, because that's how you expand your reach. That's how people are going to see it. And it's about having people exposed to this opportunity. People need to be able to see it. If they don't know what it is, they're never going to join it, right? So you've got to continue to expose people to the opportunity. So that's your week 4, okay? Expanding your reach. And then you just repeat, like, go back to week 1. You make your list when your next challenge starts. Week 2, you shout out those leaders. Week 3, you make that group call happen again. And week 4, hopefully you sign some people as coaches and you shout them out and you expand that reach, okay? Here are some things to consider. Like I said in the beginning, you're teaching people how to help others. So you're not just adding them to some business. You're not just trying to benefit yourself or grow a team, like, and build volume. Like, yeah, I guess that stuff happens. It happens as a result of the help. Okay. And so I know from speaking to you guys that some of you have struggled with, how do I add people to a business that I'm not even really sure I'm good at? But is your heart ready to help people? Because that's all it is. If you truly just want to help somebody, adding them as a coach is another level of helping. Okay. Because again, think about those circles. There's only so many people in my circle that I can reach out and help. And then your circle can expand that, and their circle can expand that, and their circle. And it just builds. And before you know it, we're helping people that never, ever, ever would have been plugged into what it is we're doing. So the time is now to begin helping others, okay? If you are thankful, I mean, this is the week of Thanksgiving and just gratitude. And so if you are thankful in any capacity for what Beachbody has done in your life in any way, shape, and form, if there is some level of thankfulness in you, you got to help others and pay it forward. The other thing is, if the opportunity is never available, guys, how will they know, right? I know that there's coaches that are like, I couldn't hit Success Club this month at all, and I don't know why. And then when you go to their news feed and you read, or their timeline, you go to their page on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, you don't see, like, you see posts about what they, a movie they went to, or I don't know, like, just random stuff, right? But there's nothing like indicating that they have a group going or that they're a coach and that they could help. And so if that opportunity is never available for people, how will they know, right? And if you post about it once in the month, I'm going to tell you that's not enough, because, guys, there's only so many people that one post reached. Maybe you posted it at 5 p.m. and maybe that wasn't a great time for your audience. Maybe your audience would have seen it better at noon, right? And so you got to play with timing and things like that. But the opportunity has to be available, and they've got to know. So you also need to get creative and playful about how you tell people. Sometimes, like, I know Facebook Live is a big thing right now. So getting on live. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys this while I'm thinking about it. I have to say this. Hold on, flipping back in my notes. Okay, by the year 2018, guys, 2/3 of our social media communication will be by video. By 2018, that's 2 years away. Guys, come on, forget it. That's almost 1 year away. 2/3 of everything we do will be by video. So if you're not comfortable on video just yet, I encourage you to make that like a push goal for you in 2017. Start getting comfortable, because you got to get ahead of the curve, okay? Because once everybody's comfortable at video, it's going to be too late for you to get on video. You know what I mean? You want to be ahead of the game. So keeping in mind Facebook Live, that's a great opportunity for you to explore and start getting comfortable with. And it's a little scary sometimes, but it's really not that bad, because you know what? It's like, whatever. Haters gonna hate. But people actually really enjoy seeing your face, hearing your voice live, hearing your heart. And so just starting to experiment with that would be awesome. And that will boost your reach as well. So what have you posted this month that lets people know this is what you do? Have you posted anything this month that truly lets people know that you run challenge groups and that you're a Beachbody coach, and that this is something that you're thankful for? If not, I encourage you to find a way this week to put that onto your radar. And then try again. Like, okay, so let's say you did week 3 and you had your call and nobody signed up or nobody came on the call, right? Lo and behold, who cares? Again, similar to like, they don't know that nobody's been asking questions. They don't know that nobody was on the call, or they don't know that nobody signed up. You'll just say, great call, everybody. And then I can't wait to keep answering more questions. Let's rock out the last week, whatever. But try and try again, okay? Every time you do something, it gets better and better and better. So I don't want this to be a one and done. I don't want you to try it next month in your challenge group and then it's a dud. And then you're like, that just doesn't work. I'm not going to do it. I want you to give this a try, okay? Challenge groups, again, like I said, they're at this point, guys, if you are a coach that you want to build a business, that you want to help others, challenge groups are non-negotiable anymore. They're non-negotiable for you, because that's just a benchmark of a coach that works the business. If you need assistance with challenge groups at all, or if you're prepping, that I'm here for you, because like I said in the beginning, that is one thing I'm very comfortable and confident in, and I have so many resources I can pour into you. And then just a quick reminder to consider is that this Friday, we're doing that live sneak peek at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to get on and I'm going to talk about the coaching opportunity. I'm going to talk about why I joined as a coach. I'm going to be what you guys are encouraged to do, and just, answering basic questions. But what I'm encouraging you guys to do during that time is, once I go live, I want everyone on our team to share the live video. So tell your downline, tell other people on the team, share the live video to your page. The more everyone on our team shares it, the more people are going to see it, right? And it's going to create an opportunity for communication. So you'll share it. But then after that, what I request that you do is get in there and ask questions that you think other people might be thinking. If you don't see anybody asking, if stuff isn't happening in the comments, or, you can share your own story in there, or if somebody says something that they're afraid of, you can be like, I was like that too, but this is what happened, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to try to keep it relatively short on Friday, but also keep this in mind. Let's say after Friday, the sneak peek's done, right? We finished it. Let's say all of a sudden somebody says, hey, what's this whole coaching thing you're doing? Hey, you know what? We actually just did a sneak peek. It's on my timeline. I'll tag you in the comments. And then you tag people in the comments, and then they can watch it on their own accord, right? And so that opens up more dialogue. So you'll have this resource on your page. And so my heart right now, guys, is that, in week 3, I'm going to always do this call for challengers, but once a month. I'm considering twice a month right now. So I'm trying to figure it out. We'll see how this one really goes. But I'm definitely doing once a month. Probably just like this is the last weekend of the month. I'm thinking the last weekend of every month, like the last Friday or whatnot, we'll do this same sneak peek event. And it'll just be a recurring thing that we always do, so that there will be kind of a fresh one, okay, every time. So that's just on the radar, so keep that in mind. But there's that opportunity too. So obviously in this group, we're not doing that, but if you've got people that you're like, you know what, I want to tag them in the comments because I think they'd be a rockstar coach, I want them to see this, right when you post that onto your wall, go ahead and tag people in the comments so that they can start watching, okay? And that's it for that. So I'm going to open it up for some questions and answers. I did put a little quote here that I love. It says, the things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy. So we just got to keep that in mind, guys, especially when we get fearful of what are people going to think, or I don't want people to think I'm scamming them, or I don't want, it's just something I'm not comfortable with. Remember, everything that you do just for you goes away with you. But if you can build things and build that into other people, it creates a legacy. So pretty cool stuff. Anyway, I'm going to Unmute. I'm gonna stop the share first of all. I'm gonna unmute you guys. And if anybody has questions, feel free to ask.
I guess with like challenge groups, I know you've done calls and training, and there's tons of info almost everywhere. But like with setting that up, like I always feel like I'm not being, like in the past when I've ran them, like it feels a little like, I don't know, too salesy. I guess
when you're running them or when you're advertising for it?
When you're advertising for them.
Okay.
So I think that's one thing that kind of like more so, recently and that sort of thing. Like I feel like I don't like doing it just because I'm not sure with that process how to make it feel more authentic. Even though, my intent is not, okay, yeah, I want a challenge box. Like that's not the intent. But it always, whenever like it gets to that point where they're like, how much does it cost? It always seems to feel that way, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like advice to make that process less like that.
Yeah. So what helps me, because I am totally not I hate the invite process. Like that's just not, I'm in the same boat that you are in. And what is my lifesaver is sharing what I'm doing more and more and more. And so the more like, just making, I know that you're doing a great job of sharing on connected wellness and just sharing, like your healthy eating and just, you're trying to incorporate the entire, mission of connected wellness. And I get that. But just maybe on your personal page too, really working to, I attest it to like, if I bought like a really amazing nail polish that's like awesome, I would want everybody to know about it. Or like, I love tank tops, and every time I buy a tank top, I want everyone to know about it because I want everybody to buy the tank top too. So I share it, right? Or like when I read my personal development, I share my book because I want people to know that this book is awesome. Same thing. So just sharing the fact that you're doing that, sharing what it's done for you. Like I know with you that this has improved your running a lot, and it's improved a lot of areas of your life that, aren't physical, right? And so sharing that internal transformation too, I think helps to make it not so scary. And then when it comes to like the price of something, the reality is when I started working, I was always very nervous about that too. But when I started working at Orange Theory, the price of a month membership there, 1 month, unlimited, which is essentially a challenge group, right? Because that's unlimited. 1 month unlimited was $189. And there was no nutrition involved. You did not have a community of support. You didn't have a daily meal to ingest. And so once I started working there and seeing that people actually paid $189, I was really shocked. And so I was like, you know what? I can't apologize anymore for Beachbody because that is a steal. And so I guess I was watching something too the other day that was talking about if somebody's objection is money, then we haven't showed them the value enough. So I guess if somebody says money, now obviously if money's an issue, then you have to respect it to a certain place, but everybody's different in that sense, right? So if money is an issue and it's like a done deal, like they're like a no because of the dollar point you put on it, then you just continue to move on until somebody has the need for it. But not apologizing ever, because the reality is that it's one of the cheapest forms of fitness that I've ever found, truly. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, it does, for sure.
And the more and more I do it, the less and less I have to apologize. That's the thing too. Like I used to be very apprehensive with the dollar point too in the beginning. And now I see what it does for people's lives. And so I can't possibly apologize for that. And I'm not, we're not really reaping the benefit of that price point either. You know, it's not like the work we put in we don't get paid that well based off of the amount of work we really put in, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? I'm gonna guess no. So that's it for tonight. Hopefully that helped guys with the whole transition, but the reality is I just keep I want you to know what's on my heart. And the idea is I am at a point where like I'm so excited to have other people duplicate and reach places that I can't reach. And I want to be better at that, because I know that with challenge groups, I've found myself in my own little bubble where I've gotten really great at running challenge groups, but I haven't found that bubble to expand. And so that is the whole idea. So any resource or any question or any fear that you have right now about any, you know, just any aspect of the challenge group or all of that stuff, I'm here to help wipe those away. So I'm a call away or a text away. But next week, we're going to talk about how to develop and mentor those coaches, which is something that we might want to be putting in our back pocket if we're not quite ready for that, but it's still going to be really good information. And then that'll wrap up the whole 4 vital processes. So we'll be good to go with it. So thanks, ladies, for being on live tonight. And if you guys have no more questions, I will end our recording. All right, ladies, have a really good night, okay?
You too.
Bye.
Bye.